Good evening, good evening. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Carolina Panthers Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, Panthers.com has another mock draft report. So, just wanted to go through it. This is 7.0. Just wanted to go through it and give my quick thoughts on it, as we are about to be a week away from the NFL draft. That's right, next Thursday, y'all, it begins. So, it's a lot to look forward to. Of course, next Thursday will be round one. Next Friday, then Friday will be rounds two and three, and then the rest of the rounds, 4 through 7, that Saturday. So, got a lot to look forward to. But let's take a look at this mock draft report 7.0. But before we do, be sure to check out the link in the description to Game Beauty for an awesome lineup of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. And if you see something you like and want to make a purchase, be sure to use the promo code BlitzballChamp and you get 10% off of your order. So be sure to check that out. Okay, and I will also share the link to this mock draft report 7.0 from Panthers.com. But looking at this list, it looks like it's pretty one-sided. But let's go ahead and go through it. So we come to Charles Davis. Charles Davis is going Alabama quarterback Bryce Young with that first overall pick in the first round that belongs to the Carolina Panthers. And he says, and I quote, "My esteemed colleague Bucky Brooks recently expressed a common sentiment in draft circles. From the outside looking in, the Panthers' decision feels like a coin flip between Young and Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud. Today, the coin lands in favor of the best quarterback in this year's class, at least in my humble opinion, which he's going Bryce Young. I do believe, for the most part, I think it's going to come down between Young and Stroud. Anthony Richardson would probably be like the sleeper at this point. But anyway, let's keep going. Mel Kiper Jr. is also going Bryce Young. He says, and I quote, "Young or C.J. Stroud, Stroud or Young. I think the Panthers are homing in on one of these passers after they traded up to number one. In my post-free agency mock draft, I went with Stroud, who fits the physical mold of quarterbacks new Carolina coach Frank Reich has worked with over the past decade. I've heard too many rumblings about the front office and coaches liking Young, though, and my pals Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter believe Young is the guy as well." So, another one for Bryce Young. Ryan Wilson, he's actually going C.J. Stroud. He says, and I quote, "C.J. Stroud had a great pro day and it further solidified his case as one of the top 2 quarterbacks in this draft. We've heard that the Panthers are high on Stroud, and for now, we have him going number 1 because it's easy to envision him transitioning from Ohio State to a Carolina staff that includes Frank Reich and Jim Caldwell." Yeah, I can see what he means. I can definitely see what he means. And when it came to the pro day, yeah, C.J. Stroud was the main talk of the town. All right, continuing, Dane Brugler says Bryce Young. So Dane says, and I quote, "I don't know what the Panthers are going to do, but I can tell you what other teams believe the Panthers are going to do. Draft Young. If you are comfortable with his size, the Alabama passer is the easy selection at number 1. And then lastly, Justin Mello, who is going Bryce Young. Justin says, and I quote, "Bryce Young recently became the betting favorite to the number 1 overall selection. Size deficiencies didn't prevent Young from being college football's top performing draft eligible quarterback in 2022. The Carolina Panthers acquired the pick with an unknown specific quarterback in mind. Panthers head coach Frank Reich will appreciate an opportunity to work alongside Young. Okay, so bunch of these guys going Bryce Young, one going C.J. Stroud. Now, after hearing more about, the different selections and different opinions of those, I'm at this point. I mean, I'm pretty open. I'm still pretty open. I know a lot of the talk about Bryce Young is the fear of him taking that big hit and getting hurt. Because, he is the smaller of the other quarterbacks. So, I don't think anybody is really questioning his ability or that he can play, which, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But ultimately, it seems like size is what stands out the most with Bryce Young. And it really just comes down to, are we willing to take that risk? Are we willing to take that risk? C.J. Stroud talked about quite a lot, has the size, and seems to be, a complete quarterback and a big favorite of many. A lot of folks are high on C.J. Stroud. And honestly, I don't think we could go wrong with either of those two. Anthony Richardson, I think the whole thing is just, he's either going to be a bust or he's going to blow up and be a phenomenal quarterback. Probably end up being the best out of this class. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. But I expect whichever team that chooses him is prepared to be very patient with him and is prepared to allow him the amount of time to, sit back, learn, evolve, and gain nuggets sitting behind, the veteran quarterback or whoever that team's starting quarterback is at the moment. You know what I mean? But, and it sounds like Will Levis is pretty much out of the picture. But yeah, as it's getting closer and closer, I know a lot of folks are saying, oh, it's going to be Bryce Young, it's going to be Bryce Young. Carolina's pretty much made up their mind. I don't know. I still think a lot of that is a smokescreen, and we won't really know until the day of. We won't really know until the day of. That's my opinion on that. I don't think we'll know until the day of. So, I hear a lot that's saying, oh, Carolina for sure is getting Bryce. There's a lot that's been said of how much Carolina likes Stroud. So, I think it's safe to say it's probably going to be one of those two. It's probably going to be one of those two. But, like I said, I ultimately don't have a big preference. If we get Stroud, great. If we get Young, great. If we get Richardson, I'll be a little hesitant, but great. Overall, I am confident that we have the staff to be able to evolve and build up whichever quarterback that we draft. I believe that. I really do. It's not going to be easy, but it is doable. It's doable. So, I'm confident. I'm confident in that. And I'm just anxious. I'm anxious to get through this draft. And as important as the first round pick is, the rest of them are very, very important, especially that second round. That second rounder. I think it's pretty much 99.9% certain we're getting our quarterback with that first pick. But the real test is this second and third and 2/4 and a fifth. Like, I really want to see who we end up going for in those later rounds, especially with that second round pick. That's going to be big. And Scotty Fitty could easily trade down and try to get an extra pick or two. I expect a trade down to happen as well. I do think a trade down will happen. Because I think it is very necessary that Carolina gets at least another 1 to 2 more picks. Another 1 to 2 more picks, and I think they can get who they need. Because, I mean, we're still looking at, tight end, wide receiver, linebacker, edge, potentially another guard on the O-line. So, still a lot to look for. A cornerback. We could get another cornerback. So, still a lot of needs to fill. So that second, third, fourth, fifth round, because right now we got a second, we got a third, we got 2 fourth rounds and a fifth round. So that's what we have currently. And therefore, I expect that Scott Fitterer, our GM, is going to want to trade down and get at least another pick or two. Because that's what we have. We have number 1 pick, second round number 39 pick, third round number 93 pick, 2 fourths, the 114 and the 132, and then the fifth with the 145. I think definitely see us at least getting 1 to 2 more picks in a trade down. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. But that's pretty much all that I have for this video. Be sure to check out the link to Game Beauty. And let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What do y'all think about this mock draft report? Not only thinking about the quarterback that you like or who you believe Carolina will get, but who would you like Carolina to aim for in the later rounds? Second, third, fourth, fifth. Just based on the picks that we have, what would y'all like to see them go for? Do you want to see a trade down? Do you want to see them to try to get more picks? Let me know how you would go about this. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching and checking me out. For another Carolina Panthers Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed evening, and I will see y'all in the next video. Take care. Peace.